Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome back to Your Health, your live health show. Normally, alhamdulillah, here to kind of bring you up to speed with different illnesses and increase your understanding of disease, and hopefully create awareness that maintaining health and keeping disease away from us is like a two-way street. It's a lot of it is our own responsibility, and one person can't expect to live his life without exercise, without good food, without good diet, etc., without having controlling his stress to a degree, and then expecting to have miraculous health. It doesn't work like that. Health and achieving health and looking after health is a responsibility that Allah Ta'ala has placed upon each and every one of us. We can't just go to the GP and park 20 years of sedentary lifestyle and all the complications at his door and expect then us to be fixed. It doesn't work like this at all. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. Okay, so I was mentioning before the break the causations and the reasons of fibromyalgia. So I mentioned first of all that fibromyalgia, first of all, it involves changes in the chemicals in the brain, low serotonin, and an increase in the P factor. The P factor is known as substance P, which kind of transmits the pain message to the brain. So people with fibromyalgia have an increase in the P substance and a decrease in the serotonin levels. So changes in the brain chemical, number one. Number two, a dysregulation of the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system kind of releases hormones that affect how we respond to pain. So people with the fibromyalgia, they have too much of this, the hormones that are involved in pain. They make a person too sensitive. So when people experience stress, etc., their expression of this stress will cause more hormones to be increased, which heighten their perception of pain. So number two is a disruption of the autonomic nervous system. Number two. Number three, sleep problems. Some people have regular disturbed sleep. So over time, irregular sleep can cause such havoc in the body, like stress can, that can make a person exhibit the symptoms of fibromyalgia. All these 9 symptoms, from stiffness, from pain to a sensitivity to pain, to headaches, to IBS symptoms, IBD symptoms, even anxiety, depression, weakness, can all be brought on by not having good sleep. So first of all, problem with the regulation of the chemical in the brain. Number two, a disruption of the autonomic nervous system. And number three, sleep problems. Number four, injury. This is very important. Many people have many injuries in their line of work or in their life. They've had many injuries. So these continuous injuries cause the fibers to tear and then to be fixed. Again they tear, they be fixed again. Continuously and over time, and having many accidents and injuries makes a person much more susceptible, and indeed can cause the symptoms of fibromyalgia. Another reason is genetics. Many people, it's in their family that they'll get these symptoms. Genetic, as in it's passed down from the parents. So they'll be more susceptible to getting this. Another reason is people with rheumatism or ankylosing spondylitis, disease of the spine. They are much more susceptible to getting this illness of fibromyalgia. Alongside that, some more causes is if you have digestive problems, you can't digest food properly, you have a lot of gas in your stomach, your gut biome isn't in a good place, you have symptoms of indigestion and lots of gas, you have like the IBS symptoms. In fact, if you have something which is known as candida, which means your good bacteria is decreased and your bad bacteria, one of which is candida albicans, that has increased, that can make you more susceptible to getting fibromyalgia. So everything works in a balance. This theory of a single disease being like a bullet that destroys things, or a single virus, Louis Pasteur's theory doesn't hold water. The theory of Anton Beechamp, as mentioned before, where a person, whether he succumbs to an illness or not, depends on many factors: his food, his sleep, his job, his friends, his mind, etc. News, bad news, good news on the day. So this is exactly what's happening in fibromyalgia. It's not just one thing; it's a sum of many things that makes a person succumb. So digestive issues. If you have digestive issues for a long time, that can cause fibromyalgia. Number one. Number two, hormonal imbalances, and this is more true in females, and in fact fibromyalgia is found in more females than it's found in males, and I'll go through this inshallah. Urdu ke andar mein ye main arz karta jaunga inshallah. It's found in more females than males, fibromyalgia, and I'll tell you another reason for fibromyalgia: trauma, shock, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it's mental, whether it's psychological, whatever it is, trauma can cause fibromyalgia. Any kind of shock, sudden shock or continued shock, physical, mental abuse can cause fibromyalgia. So number 3 reason you can get this is hormonal imbalance. And I mentioned before that sleep disorder, that can also make a person more susceptible to getting fibromyalgia, because what happens in sleep is the injuries you have, they are kind of, especially when you go into deep sleep where your body is repairing all the damage, that doesn't occur in the people with insomnia or sleep disturbance. Their body doesn't go into a state where it can heal. So then they'll wake up, and this will happen again 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, for 1 month, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 saal. After that, they will get the symptom of fibromyalgia because the body isn't curing these tears, small, minute, microscopic tears, and it's all over the body, it's systemic, and then the pain starts. So sleep issues, be careful, you may be knocking at the door of fibromyalgia. Get yourself treated. Number 4, and this probably ties into what I mentioned, stress. So mood disorder, any kind of mood disorder, and chemical imbalance, as I mentioned before, low serotonin, high P substance, irregular potassium, sodium levels will affect a body, and over time it can cause these symptoms of fibromyalgia. So again, chemical issues in the mind. And number 5, chronic illness. Any chronic illness, whether it's arthritis, whether it's lupus, whether it's depression, jo kuch bhi ho, any reason, if you have got chronic illness, it makes you more susceptible to get the symptom of fibromyalgia. It increases your P substance, decreases your serotonin levels, sodium potassium balances get irregular, and the sum result is that your body kind of sends pain signals all over the place, which is fibromyalgia. I mean, when you go to the GPs, everything will be your test level will be normal, but you'll have this weird sensation, and real sensation, it's not in the mind, of pain in these 18 spots. And these are pretty much all over the body. But the test will be the same. There'll be no rheumatic factor, ESR levels will be normal, So the GP will say, yeah, it's fibromyalgia. So 5 chronic illnesses. Any chronic illness long term can cause you to become more susceptible to fibromyalgia. And then the 6th thing was, as I mentioned, stress. Any kind of stress, long term stress, can cause you to have symptoms of fibromyalgia. And believe me, fibromyalgia is no laughing matter. Your life stops. You can't do anything. You can't get out of bed. Forget writing an essay or doing any cooking or any housework. You can't get out of the bed. Fibromyalgia. So what happens then and how this is treated homeopathically and conventionally, I will explain in due course. Before, I will just go through this in Urdu. तो बस मैं यही अर्ज़ कर रहा था कि फाइब्रोमाइल्जिया ये जो ख़तरनाक बीमारी है जिसके तकरीबन 8-9 लक्षण और सिम्टम है, तो इसकी फिर वजूहात क्या हैं? क्योंकि जब आप जीपी के पास जाएंगे तो वो तो कहेंगे भाई बहन देखिए आपके तो टेस्ट भी ठीक है, इन्फ्लेमेटरी लेवल भी ठीक है, आप रूमेटिक फैक्टर भी नहीं है, वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह, तो फिर ये कहाँ से आ गई है? क्या ये जहन के अंदर वैसे आदमी ने ये पैदा कर दिया या कोई हकीकत है इसके अंदर? तो पहली बात तो ये है कि ये बाकायदा मुसल्लम बीमारी है। ये जो इसके असरात हैं और जो दुख और दर्द होते हैं, हकीकत में ये दुख और दर्द होते हैं। तो इसकी वजह फिर क्या है? तो पहली बात यही है कि दिमाग के अंदर जो यानी ये जो हम कहते हैं उसको यानी कि केमिकल्स होते हैं, सेरोटोनिन एक है और दूसरा है पी फैक्टर या पी सब्सटेंस, इनके अंदर कुछ ज़्यादती और कमी हो जाती है। सेरोटोनिन एक केमिकल है जिसकी वजह से आदमी की तबीयत खुश होती है, आदमी के दर्द वगैरह को आदमी अच्छी तरह उसको यानी उसका तहम्मुल कर सकता है, तो ये कम हो जाता है। इसकी वजह से नींद भी, सेरोटोनिन अगर कम हो तो नींद नहीं आती, दुख दर्द का एहसास ज़्यादा होता है, तो ये कम होता है जिसकी वजह से आदमी के ये असरात सामने आते हैं। और साथ साथ एक सब्सटेंस एक यानी एक हार्मोन जिसको कहते हैं फी सब्सटेंस, जिसकी वजह से कोई दुख दर्द हो तो दिमाग तक ये कासिद होता है, ये बढ़ जाता है। तो छोटी तकलीफ से भी ये हार्मोन यानी ये जो मैसेज कासिद दिमाग तक यानी मैसेज पहुंचा देगा कि मुझे ये तकलीफ़ हो रही है, और वो तकलीफ़ भी बढ़ जाएगी, एहसास उसका बढ़ जाएगा। तो पहली बात है कि जहन के अंदर केमिकल के फ़र्क की वजह से ये फाइब्रोमाइल्जिया हो जाता है। नंबर 2, दूसरी बात ये है कि आदमी का अगर पेट ठीक ना हो, हज़म ठीक ना हो, आदमी को कब्ज़ रहती है, खाना के यानी खाना ख़राब होकर वहाँ से गैस पैदा होता है, तो और कभी आदमी को हैज़ा होता है, कभी आदमी को कब्ज़ होता है, पेट ठीक नहीं रहता, तो ये डकार ज़्यादा आते हैं, तो ये अलामत है कि अगर आपने इसको दुरुस्त और न निपटाया आपने, तो आपको फाइब्रोमाइल्जिया की बीमारी होने का इम्कान ज़्यादा है। तो डाइजेस्टिव प्रॉब्लम्स। नंबर 2, मैंने बता दिया हार्मोनल इम्बैलेंस अगर ख़वातीन के अंदर क्योंकि ये फाइब्रोमाइल्जिया की बीमारी है ख़वातीन के अंदर ज़्यादा होती है, मर्दों के अंदर कम, ज़्यादा ख़वातीन के अंदर। तो हार्मोनल प्रॉब्लम अगर हो, प्रोजेस्टेरोन एस्ट्रोजन वगैरह और आगे पीछे अगर मसला हो, यानी अगर ये ठीक ना हो, तो इसकी वजह से रफ्ता रफ्ता फाइब्रोमाइल्जिया तक बात पहुंच सकती है। ये जो 9 सिम्टम है उसके, आदमी इसको जिसको हम फाइब्रोमाइल्जिया कहते हैं, आदमी वहाँ तक पहुँच जाता है। नंबर 3, तीसरी वजह ये जो फाइब्रोमाइल्जिया की है, ये है कि आदमी की नींद ठीक नहीं होती। आदमी को जो तकलीफ़ होती है, दर्द दुख होते हैं, कोई टूट मूट होते हैं, तो नींद के वक्त जब आदमी ख़ास 2 घंटे शुरू के अंदर जो आदमी को डीप स्लीप, 2 घंटे के बाद जो आदमी 2-3-4 घंटे डीप स्लीप के अंदर चला जाता है, तो ये जो जिसको तकलीफ़ होती है नींद नहीं आती, तो वो आदमी इस नींद से फ़ायदा जो हासिल होना चाहिए कि जिस्म के अंदर जो तकलीफ़ है वगैरह, जिस्म उसको यानी दुरुस्त कर रहा है, इस आदमी को ये नहीं होता, क्योंकि वो उस नींद के हद तक पहुंचते ही नहीं जहां ये पूरा सिलसिला शुरू होता है, जिसको हम कहते हैं डीप स्लीप। तो ज़ाहिर बात है अगर 1 दिन 2 दिन 1 माह 2 माह 1 साल 2 साल ये होता जाए, तो इससे जो नताइज हैं वो ख़तरनाक हैं, और एक नतीजा यही है फाइब्रोमाइल्जिया का। तो नींद का ख्याल करना चाहिए, बेडरूम बिल्कुल तारीख होना चाहिए, शुड बी डार्क, आपका मोबाइल फ़ोन बंद होना चाहिए, नींद से पहले आदमी को काम नहीं करना चाहिए, मोबाइल फ़ोन को नहीं देखना चाहिए, 4 घंटे पहले खाने से फ़ारिग होना चाहिए, एक्सरसाइज नहीं करना चाहिए, इला आखिरी ब्राइट लाइट्स की तरफ आदमी को नहीं देखना चाहिए, वगैरह वगैरह, इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। और नंबर 4, मूड डिसऑर्डर। अगर किसी का मूड यानी कि अंदर कोई गड़बड़ी हो रही है, सेरोटोनिन कम है, वो पी सब्सटेंस ज़्यादा है वगैरह वगैरह, पोटासियम सोडियम लेवल ठीक ना हो, तो इसकी वजह से अगर आदमी के मूड नीचे यानी लो ऑल द टाइम हो, तो रफ्ता रफ्ता फाइब्रोमाइल्जिया की बीमारी आदमी को लग जाती है। नंबर 5, क्रॉनिक इलनेसेस, यानी वो बीमारियाँ जो 8 हफ्ते से ज़्यादा रहती हैं, 1 साल 2 साल, क्रॉनिक डायबिटीज़ हो गई, वेरियस पेन तकलीफ़ दुख दर्द। अगर किसी को ये लूपस की बीमारी, जोड़ों के और हड्डियों के अंदर दुख, आर्थराइटिस और रूमेटिज्म की जो बीमारी है, या पीछे रीढ़ की हड्डी की एंकाइलोसिस स्पॉन्डिलाइसिस वगैरह, इस तरह की बीमारियाँ जो क्रॉनिक होती हैं, तो अगर किसी को ये लॉन्ग टर्म हो, तो ये भी आदमी को इस फाइब्रोमाइल्जिया तक पहुँचा देती है। और इसके बाद नंबर 6 और सबसे बड़ी बात, स्ट्रेस। जिसको स्ट्रेस होता है, चाहे दिमागी स्ट्रेस हो, चाहे जज्बाती स्ट्रेस हो, चाहे इमोशनल हो, साइकोलॉजिकल हो, फिज़िकल हो, चाहे स्पिरिचुअल क्यों ना हो, अगर आदमी के अंदर ये तवाज़ुन ना हो, तो रफ्ता रफ्ता इस स्ट्रेस की वजह से आदमी बहुत ही ज़्यादा बीमार हो जाता है, यू कैन बिकम इल। सो ये है वजूहात फाइब्रोमाइल्जिया की। अच्छा, अब देखिए, जब आप जीपी के पास जाएंगे तो वो कैसे आपका इलाज करेगा, पहले ये भी आपको बताता जाऊँ। तो अगर आप जीपी के पास जाएंगे तो अव्वलन उनके लिए ये फाइब्रोमाइल्जिया का डायग्नोसिस मुश्किल होगा, लेकिन कितने सालों के बाद जब आप उनके पास मुसलसल जाते जाएंगे तो वो कहेंगे देखिए आपको आपके अंदर ये 9 सिम्टम्स हैं और ये भी आहिस्ता आहिस्ता सिम्टम बढ़ती रहती हैं, तो लगता है कि आपको फाइब्रोमाइल्जिया है। तो इसके बाद क्या करेंगे वो, ये जो मैंने 9 सिम्टम बताए थे ना, तो उनके एक एक करके उनका वो उसकी तरफ तवज्जो देंगे, आपके IBS की तरफ आपको कुछ ना कुछ दवाई देंगे, एंटीस्पास्मोटिक्स वगैरह। आपकी डिप्रेशन के लिए वो आपको सर्ट्रोलिन देंगे या प्रोजाक या फ्लुक्सटीन, SSRI जिसको कहते हैं सेलेक्टिव सेरोटोनिन रीअपटेक इनहिबिटर्स, वो आपको देंगे। आपके माइग्रेन्स के लिए आपको एनाल्जेसिक्स दवाई देंगे। यानी हर लक्षण और हर सिम्टम के लिए वो अलग अलग दवाई देंगे। What happens when a person goes to the GP with fibromyalgia symptoms? First of all, it's diagnosed very late, and secondly, the treatment is focused on each symptom individually. Pain and stiffness, they'll give you remedies for that. IBS symptoms, they'll give you antispasmodics. Cramps in the stomach, again, they'll give you specific things. Migraine headaches, they'll give you analgesics. Anxiety issues, for depression, they'll give you things like sertraline and fluoxetine, SSRIs. Every one of these 9 symptoms I've mentioned, for dizziness, they'll give you something. For poor sleep, they'll attempt to give you sedatives. All of these symptoms will be focused one by one. Nothing will be looked as to why you've got it in the first place, and even if it was looked at, there's nothing much, unfortunately, that can help. Now, what will homeopathic medicine do? How will the homeopath deal with all these symptoms? First of all, the homeopath will look at you as a person. Why are you stressed for? Why are you having indigestion problems for? Why are you having headaches for? Why have you got the stiffness for? What has happened in your life? What have you been through? What trauma have you been through? Physical, emotional, mental, psychological. How's your life been? Has somebody, passed away that's affected you? Have you lost a lot of money? What has happened that has caused this imbalance in your body? And then after they get your full picture, a normal appointment with a homeopathic physician is about 2 hours. I've actually gone even more than that, sometimes 3 hours, because you need to know the patient. They don't just wake up with these symptoms. There's a reason behind it. Is it suppression? Emotional suppression? Is it because they've had a lot of injuries? Whatever it may be, you need to see, because once you find the etiology, that's half the cure. What causes it? If you know what the etiology is, that's half the cure, alhamdulillah. And then they'll find the remedies. Some of the remedies I'll go through now. Remedies like Rustox. If you have fibromyalgia and you're worse in the morning, you're very stiff in the morning, but as you go through the day it becomes easier, then Rustox is a very good remedy. Another remedy is known as Bryonia. Bryonia means that even if you move slightly, you have pain. Bryonia, wild hops as it's known, is a very good remedy for people with fibromyalgia who've got that symptom. Ruta, if you've got fibromyalgia, you have to have consistent injuries, you're a rugby player, football player, you've had a lot of injuries, you're a martial artist, whatever it may be, a judoka, whatever it may be, you pick up a lot of injuries, then you have fibromyalgia symptoms. Ruta is a remedy that may help you a lot. If you have a dull headache and dizziness alongside fibromyalgia, then you may need a remedy called China or Gelsemium. If you have sleep disturbances and you can't sleep alongside fibromyalgia symptoms, then Kali Phos is a very good remedy. Kali Phos and Magcarb, magnesium carbonicum, 2 very good remedies for pain, period pain. They're good for. They're good for mind issues where you become very nervous or you have brain fog. Kali Phos is an amazing remedy. Potassium phosphate for strengthening the brain, for nervousness. It's won so many awards in this field. And if you've got nerve involvement, your hands and feet have something known as paresthesia, you feel like tingling pains in here, it's like nerve damage, then you need hypericum. Hypericum is a very good remedy, and phosphorus as well. So these were the remedies for fibromyalgia. But the best thing to do is, rather than self-treating, is visit your homeopathic consultant. Speak to them. They are in the business of helping you. They want to help you. They don't just want to patch you up and send you off and make you come back again. They want to get you better. They want to create health. And then when this is happened, disease goes out to the door. When health is created, automatically disease is edged out and pushed out. I want to end today with this very important method. I wanted to mention this method. Many people don't know the benefits of olive oil. Next time I'm going to actually do a whole program on olive oil. But suffice to say, you have big GPs, the likes of cardiologists like Stephen Gundry and other well-qualified, eminent physicians and cardiologists who always push this method of for heart health, the method of having olive oil. Now this is my own one, there's only a bit left, but this is one of the best olive oils in the world. So the way you take this is you put a quarter teaspoon of ground ginger onto a tablespoon as such, and then you add to it some olive oil. This should be done at least once a day, and then you mix it, mashallah, as like this. Make sure it's thoroughly mixed, and then you say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, as you do, mashallah, I'm sure, or Bismillah awwalu akhiru if you're in the middle of eating, and then you drink it like this. Alhamdulillah. This is so good for your heart health. It creates health inside this venous supply inside your body. The intima, the endothelium, these layers of the heart and the layer inside your veins and arteries and capillaries, which are clogged with cholesterol and homocysteine because of our vast amount of sugar. The average person has about 152 pounds of sugar in a year. That's crazy. So much sugar we're having, and this causes big problems. So this method of having this olive oil, mixing it with ground ginger, a quarter teaspoon of ground ginger, put that inside a tablespoon of the best olive oil you can buy, and there's so much fraud in olive oil. Be very particular where you get your olive oil from. There's massive fraud, bigger than the scale of fraud in Manuka honey, in olive oil. They mix it with corn oil and soya oil and God knows what. This oil is amazing. Put it in your salads, or at least have a tablespoon twice a day. If you have time, Google Stephen Gundry and olive oil, and you'll be a believer like I am, and like Rasulullah has told us to use olive oil, to use it on your body, to consume it, and you will then see the benefits of olive oil. Inshallah, there's not much time left for me to speak on olive oil, but suffice to say, Allah Ta'ala mentions in the Quran, وَالتِّينِ وَالزَّيْتُونِ وَطُورِ سِينِينَ وَهَذَا الْبَلَدِ الْأَمِينَ. Yeah, Allah Ta'ala mentions the olive and the fig. So if Allah Ta'ala is mentioning it, can you imagine the benefits inside this? Inshallah, I hope you enjoyed today's program. It will be beneficial for you. And join us next week. And until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.